Hello dear students, welcome back. This is our third lesson for coordinate geometry for A levels. So far we have learned about the gradient of a straight line. What is gradient of a straight line? This is basically the tangent of the angle formed by the line with the horizontal axis. How do we calculate this gradient? Formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. What is the relationship of gradients of parallel lines? The gradient of two parallel lines are equal. What is the relationship between the gradient of two perpendicular lines? Their product is -1. How do we check that whether the three given points are collinear? We find the gradient of first two and last two, and it must be same. How do we find distance between two points? We learned the distance formula. How do we find midpoint of two given points? We learned the formula. And we went through some miscellaneous questions regarding all these concepts. Now, in today's lesson, we are going to learn the formation of equation of a straight line. There are different cases. So, let us start today's lesson. Equation of a straight line. We will learn three different forms. The first one is gradient intercept form, which is y is equal to mx plus c. Y is equal to mx plus c, where m is the gradient of the line and c is its y-intercept. Suppose we have a line whose gradient m is equal to 1 and its y-intercept c is 4, suppose. That means that it intersects the y-axis at y is equal to 4. This is the y-intercept. Then it will pass through 0, 4. Equation of that line will be y is equal to mx plus c. Y is equal to m is 1, x plus c is 4. So this is the equation of line whose gradient and y-intercept is given. We will solve few questions regarding this concept later on. Second form is general form of equation of a straight line. Px plus qy plus r is equal to 0. Dear student, this is basically a linear equation in two variable. Every linear equation in two variable represents a line. For example, I have an equation 3x plus y plus 9 is equal to 0. This is in general form. When I will find y from here, y is equal to minus 3x minus 9. So this becomes gradient intercept form. What is its gradient? Minus 3. And what is its y-intercept? Minus 9. Similarly, if I have an equation 12x plus 2y minus 8 is equal to 0. So, or make it minus 5. Minus 5 is equal to 0. So, when I will solve it for y, 2y is equal to minus 12x, this is x, minus 12x plus 5, and y will be equal to minus 6x plus 5 by 2. What is the gradient over here? Minus 6. And what is its y-intercept? 5 by 2. So, please keep this thing in mind that every linear equation in two variable represents a straight line, which can be written in general form like this. Third form is gradient point form. This means that if we have the gradient of a straight line, suppose we have a gradient y is equal to 4, and we have a point of this line, suppose we are given that this line passes through 1, 2, we can find its equation by using this formula. Y minus y1. y1 is the y coordinate of the given point. Y minus 2 is equal to m. M is gradient. 4 into x minus x1 is x coordinate of the given point. And we can then simplify it to get 4x minus 4. plus 2, or y is equal to 4x minus 2. So this is also a line. We can form a line when we are given its gradient and a point. That point is not necessarily the y-intercept. It can be any other point. This was third form of equation of a straight line. Now we move to the last one, 2-point form. Basically, we have this form y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1, which is gradient point form, and this gradient basically is calculated by the given 2 points. So if we are given 2 points of a straight line, we can form its equation easily by using this formula. For example, we are given that a line passes through 5 1 and 2 6. So what is its equation? So we will say, let this be x1 y1, let this be x2 y2. It can be other way around as well. So y minus y1 is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 into x minus x1. We will just simplify it. Y minus 1 is equal to 5 by minus 3 plus 25 by 3, and this one will be brought over here. So we will get it into the slope gradient intercept form. One thing we need to keep in mind, if this is x1, then this will be y1. If this is x1 y1, this will be x2 y2. If this is x1 y1, this will be x2 y2. Here, if I take this y minus 1, I have taken this y minus y1 is equal to y2 minus y1, then this will be x2. It should be 2 minus 5. It cannot be 5 minus 2. This order matters. But you can make any point x1 y1, and then the other point will become x2 y2. So these were 4 different forms which can be used to form equation of a straight line. The first one was gradient intercept form. Second one was gradient point form. Third one was general equation. With that was basically, we just learned that every linear equation in 2 variable represents a straight line. And the last one was 2-point form. We can form the equation of a straight line when its 2 points are given. So dear student, now we are moving to our today's most important part of this lesson, which is basically the what we can say the testing of all the concepts which we have learned so far in coordinate geometry. The question 1. Find the equation of perpendicular bisector of the line segment joining minus 5 1 and 7 minus 2. First of all, we need to understand this question. We are given 2 points. Let me have a rough sketch. Minus 5 1, and the second point is 7 minus 2. We have to form equation of a line, not this line, the line which is perpendicularly bisecting this. Bisect means it passes through the midpoint. Line passes from here and it is perpendicular to this line AB. We need to form the equation of this line, Do we know any of the point of this line? We have 3 different forms. Gradient intercept form. Do we have gradient of this line? No, we don't. But we have a gradient of AB. Gradient of AB is gradient of AB will be calculated easily. Y2 minus Y1. Look over here. AB has 2 point x1, y1, x2, y2. So this will be y2 minus y1 over x2, which is 7, minus x1, which is minus 5. This will be plus 5. This will be minus 3 over 12 or minus 1 over 4. This is the gradient of AB. And we have to find the equation of its perpendicular bisector, this one. So gradient of that bisector will be, what is the relation between gradient of two perpendicular line? Gradient of AB is minus 1 by 4. Gradient of its perpendicular bisector will be 4. So we have found the gradient of the perpendicular bisector of line segment AB. So it means we can use gradient intercept form if we have the gradient y-intercept. We can use gradient point form if we have any point of this line. Bisector. Bisector means the line passes through midpoint of AB. So what is midpoint of AB? It will be calculated now. Midpoint of AB, we have the formula x1 plus x2 minus 5 plus 7 over 2, 2 over 2, 1 and 1 minus 2 minus 1 over 2. So this is the point now. We have the point midpoint of AB, which is what? 1 and minus 1 by 2. Now we have gradient as well as point of the perpendicular bisector of AB. Its equation is given by y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. Y minus minus 1 by 2 is equal to m into x minus 1. You can write it as 2y plus 1 is equal to 8x minus 2. You can simplify it, you can write it explicitly, but this is fine. So this was the first question in which we used the concept, the formula for finding midpoint, when we used the concept of relations between the gradient of two perpendicular lines. Let us move to our next. Now we move to our next question. The line L1 has equation 3x minus 2y is equal to 12 and L2 has equation 5 is equal to 15 minus 2x. L1 and L2 are intersecting at a point A. We need to find the coordinates of A. You know that we actually solve the two equations simultaneously to get the intersection point of the graph. First equation is 3x minus 2y is equal to 12. Second equation, I am transforming it. 2x plus y is equal to 15. So I will multiply this equation by 2. 4x plus 2y is equal to 30 and equation 1 by as it is I will write it over here. By doing so, I will add these equation and 7x is equal to 42, x is equal to 6. By putting x is equal to 6 in first equation, 3x minus 2y is equal to 12, 18 minus 12 is equal to 2y, y is equal to 3. So I got x is equal to 6, y is equal to 3. These are coordinates of point A. Find equation of the line through A and perpendicular to line L1. This is L1. Line passes through 6 minus. Gradient of L1. What is gradient of L1? This is L1. Gradient of L1, to find the gradient of L1, we need to write it in standard form. 3x minus 2y is equal to 12. 2y is equal to 3x minus 12. Y is equal to 3 by 2x minus 6. Gradient of L1 is 3 by 2. Gradient of L1 3 by 2. Gradient of required line M is equal to minus 2 by 3 because that line is perpendicular to L1 and it passes through this. So we will use gradient point form to find its equation. Gradient is minus 2 by 3, y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1, y minus, what is y1? 3, this is y1, is equal to m into x minus x1, 3y minus 9 is equal to minus 2x plus 12, 3y plus 2x plus 21 is equal to 0. General form of required line. I hope this is clear. Let this be the last lesson question for today's lesson. Find the equation of line passing through each pair of points. 2 points are given and we need to find the equation. 2-point form we will simply use. For 1, y minus y1 is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 into x minus x1. This will be y minus 0 is equal to 6 minus 0 over 5 minus 1 into x minus 1. Y is equal to 6 over 4 into x minus 1. Y is equal to 3 by 2x minus 3 by 2. For second part, y minus y1, this is y1, is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 into x minus x1. I will get y plus 1 is equal to minus 4 over minus 6 x minus 3. Y plus 1 is equal to 2 by 3x minus 2 by 3 into 3, 2, and y is equal to 2 by 3x minus 3. This is the second part. You can solve its third part. Dear student, I am winding this up over here because the lecture is getting lengthier. In next class, we will continue, inshallah, to solve some miscellaneous question for coordinate geometry from question number 5 onward. In next lesson, we will complete our all miscellaneous question, and then we will move forward to past year exam based question from coordinate geometry. Please do subscribe the channel and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching. Allah Hafiz.